Time for a look at your West Tennessee forecast with meteorologist Brian Davis.
And welcome in, everyone, on this Sunday night. We're going to take a look at your weather. We had some very impressive rainfall amounts, but most of you did not get rain today. And that really, out of the both days, a majority of the area did not get rain. If you did, it probably wasn't that much, but some of us were flooding, literally flooding in the parking lots. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the currents. We'll start off with our numbers for today. Actually, I wanted to jump back. Let's take a look at the tropical weather outlook before we get into the local numbers. So we'll take a look at this and then the rainfall totals. But there you can see we've got development. We're in the peak of tropical season, and it's been really quiet, but you can see we do have a couple of waves out there that are developing. 50% risk of a tropical cyclone developing in the next 7 days. That's the orange shaded area. Then you've got the 20% area. But anyway, I just wanted to let you take a peek at this here for just a moment, just to let you know it does appear that the tropics are starting to crank up a bit. So it's probably going to wind up being towards the other side of the peak of tropical season, but hopefully it won't be too active. So far, it's really not been active much at all, but we could be seeing hints that things are going to start to crank up. But anyway, a couple of systems out there in the Atlantic we're watching closely. Right now, they don't look that impressive. But there is that 50% chance that we could see something develop, tropical storm or hurricane, in the next 7 days there in that orange shaded area. So with that, now we'll take a look at the rainfall totals for today. This is the Doppler estimated rainfall. And, we were talking about some of you didn't get rain at all over the weekend, and it was like feast or famine, literally. But look at some of these totals here. We had like around 2 inches of rain just today in the rain over south parts of Jackson. We had, looks like, 2 inches there in and around Selmer. And right there around Walnut Grove, we had between 2 and 2.5 inches of rain. And the reason why is those storms were barely moving. A lot of those storms were moving less than 15 miles per hour. And then you see some other little places right there around Covington, North Covington, because it was that localized. South Covington's a different story, but North Covington, around 1 inch of rain there. But again, looking at the colored areas, the colorful, like the pink areas, that's your higher rainfall totals. The green shaded area, that's little or no rain for today. So it was quite impressive where it fell, but again, only about 15 to 20% max of the viewing area actually saw rain today. Now we'll go take a look at those numbers. We did manage to top out at 89. Some of us got higher than that, went into the low 90s, but we had the rain developing in and around the airport there at Jackson, so that kind of cut what would have been a little bit higher temperature off there probably and kept us right there at about 89 degrees. But again, a lot of us topped out around the 90-degree mark this afternoon. We did set a record this day in history back of 102 back in 1980, and we had a record low back in 1989. That would have been at 52 chilly degrees. This morning we came in at 69 degrees. The normal morning low for this time of the year would be 68 for this time of the year, according to 30-year average. Right now it's 84 in Memphis. We've still got a lot of traffic, a lot of people doing their thing here on a Sunday night. So we're heading into the 10 o'clock hour here, and, pretty peaceful there. We didn't have much rain in the immediate Memphis area. I don't think we had any at all today. Yesterday we had a little bit, but it was mainly east of there. 81 right now at UT Martin. We got 73 in Savannah. We had the storms kind of leave that area last, and so it's a little cooler there. But again, quite a range of temperatures tonight. Where it rained, it's been a little bit cooler. Where it didn't rain, it's certainly a little warmer out there tonight. So just get ready for a very hot week. In fact, you see the heat advisory that's going in effect tomorrow for that western half of West Tennessee, but that will probably fill in as the week goes on, because tomorrow it's going to be a little cooler than it will be the other day. So you'll see the temperature is going to be stepping up. I think about all of West Tennessee is going to see a heat advisory probably by Tuesday there. All right, so let's take a look right now. You can see where the rain kind of left the area later in the evening. It's a little cooler there. 73 in Selmer, 75 in Henderson and Lexington. Parsons coming in at 75. And we've got 77 right now in Camden. A little further west, we've got 75 at Alamo and Brownsville and Somerville, but 82 in Covington. We've got 81 in Ridgely and Dyersburg. 79 at Union City, and we just dropped to 82 right now in Memphis. Those winds are right out of the south. We were talking about this in the 6 o'clock weather update. South winds right out of the south. So that's not what you want to see this time of the year, especially when you've got a big dome of high pressure setting up. That can help to lead to a heat wave, and that's what we're probably heading for this week. In fact, I'm very certain we're heading into a long duration heat wave throughout much of this next week. Looking at the radar, it is quiet. The last of the rain has moved out of Middle Tennessee and certainly out of our area, and we could have a little bit of patchy fog overnight. I think the winds will keep a lot of that away, but and I don't think it'll be as big of a problem as the fog advisories of last night. But let's go ahead and take a look. Radar is nice and dry, so we'll move on to the surface mount. High pressure continues to set up over us. We're seeing very little in the way of any precipitation, over the next few days. Severe weather, it's all going to be north of us. And we got that cold front way up there, all that cooler air locked in up there north of the, northern Great Lakes. But it's actually staying way to the north of us. We're going to sit down here and just heat up over the next few days. And it could very well be the roughest week of heat that we've had so far this season. And, you think about, we are moving into the middle part of August, so that's really not a surprise there. But again, no severe weather here. However, there will be a few isolated storms at times, but it's just, the transition between much cooler, drier air and much more humid air, it's much further north. And that's where you tend to get more organized areas of severe weather. So looking good here tomorrow, no problems. You can see Futurecast shows a mostly dry slate through here. All the rain continues into northeast Alabama overnight, parts of East Tennessee and parts of North Georgia, but looking very quiet here right on through the afternoon tomorrow. So for the rest of this evening, we'll be dropping down to about 73 by around 6 a.m. in the morning, so it'll still be kind of humid out there heading off to the bus stop in the morning, but we'll wake up to a mostly sunny sky, and we'll be already up to 80 degrees by the time we get to 9 a.m. And anytime it's already like 80 by 8 or 9 a.m., it's going to be a hot day, and it will be noticeably hotter as we go from 73 in the morning, and then we'll top out there about 93 during the afternoon. However, with the dew points in the low to mid 70s, it'll feel like 100 to about 105 on the heat index. So be sure and take those breaks. Think about the heat safety tips. We had shown a lot of those at the first of the season when we had the hot weather. We'll continue showing some of those as well. But, don't forget about the pets. Don't forget about the kiddos that might be in the back seat. Wear light colored clothing and take plenty of breaks and drink clear liquids. So, use those tips because it could save your life, especially with the week that we're looking at right here. Check out the model blend of highs. We're going to be up there, very close to the mid 90s by Tuesday, and then we're going to just stay there. And you'll see my numbers will vary a little bit from the model blend of highs because, models, we don't always share their opinion. I think it's actually going to get a little bit hotter. And especially by the time we get to the weekend, we could be upper 90s. But there you have it. There's a small chance of rain Wednesday night. There's another little small chance of rain I'm seeing there Thursday afternoon, but it's very low. It'll just be an isolated storm or two. Most of us won't get rain, similar kind of like what we had today. Most areas won't get it. But those that do will be welcoming it for a cool down, because look at that. The whole slate there is in the 90s. And by the time we get to especially Wednesday, we're going to be looking for the air conditioner, looking for the fan. It's going to be a tough go because mid 90s through, if you think about it, mid 90s through much of next week, and very little as far as any rainfall. So be careful. Drink plenty of clear liquids. Take those breaks about every 15 minutes. If you can get the outside work done early morning or very late evening, that's the better time to do it rather than in the 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon time. That's like the worst time you could be out there. All right, guys, that's a look at your 10 o'clock update. Have a great rest of the night. And as always, thanks for tuning in to West Tennessee Weather Channel. Take care.
We are West Tennessee Weather Channel.